Yes, yes. Welcome in. It's Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. We're on the YouTube Air Alliance team cameras right now. Jackson looks like he's going to go out and ball strike it. Where are you going? Log cabin today?
No, going public today.
Ooh, I could tell how you just got nauseous saying that word.
I know. It's like I shudder when I say it. But yeah, I'll play Stone Wolf today. I support the Metro East.
I'm just going to go to work, just like I'm kind of a lunch pail guy.
Yeah, meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes guy. Hey, let's have Tim over for some meat, and we'll have some potatoes, too.
Right.
I can't imagine what it'll be like to go out and play golf after doing this show, but that's what Jackson's going to do.
I just imagine you eating some, mutton and then just raw potatoes.
And why do you say that? Because I'm Irish? Was that a potato famine joke? I hope you apologize later on Twitter.
I already had to apologize for the Tiger Board comments yesterday.
Thank you. We're fresh off of an interview on TMA with Erica and Drew Swings. That's Swings with a Z. You can look them up.
Right, home run derby hitters.
YouTube.com/TMASTL if you'd like to watch that. It was a great interview. But I said to Jackson and Rocky when I was walking in here today, I said, I got to be honest with you. I've got, sports opinions.
Ugh.
I know.
I feel worse about that than playing the public course.
I know. So I can't wait to hear what questions you have because they're timely. We've got the baseball playoffs. We got all kinds of sound from that. I assume you can transfer that from down the hallway in HD2 land to the real world of HD1. We talked about Armstrong's comments yesterday since we were live on the air and played the press conference and then reacted. Most people on 101 and most people on TMA, for that matter, were on board with what he said and liked it and thought it was refreshing and honest and organic and transparent. So the Blues, as they open up the season tonight, I can't wait. I have been watching a lot of Blackhawks, a lot of Golden Knights. You had the Blackhawks and Bruins last night, Blackhawks and Penguins to open up the season. Lightning and now Ryan O'Reilly with Predators getting a goal. Bedard got his first goal last night. Jackson, will you be watching the Blues and the Stars, or you could be listening to it right here on 101 ESPN with pregame getting underway at 6 p.m.?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch.
It's high pitch, yeah, and then it got higher. I'm going to call. No, see what you do on the flop.
I'm going to. That's my plan is to watch this evening. My plan is to watch. Now, I'm, just like a Cardinal game.
What if Cillian Murphy pops up in your head and you're like, I wouldn't mind watching season 2, episode 3 of Peaky Blinders.
I've kind of completed his filmography, so I don't really feel the need to, break it back out. But I
did that with Janine.
Yeah, haven't we all? And then, so maybe if Inception, about hour 2 of Inception pops up, maybe I'll switch over during one of the intermissions. But no, my plan is to be locked into Blues hockey.
Will it be tough to watch knowing that you, in your mind anyway, should be the Blues color analyst this year and there's going to be Jamie Rivers taunting you the whole time?
Yeah, some people might, be like, sour grapes, I'm not going to watch out of that, but I use it as motivation.
To get better.
I'm only 25 years old.
You got plenty of time.
Right, so I use it kind of like, Tim Tebow on a press conference. I use it as fuel.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Nice reference. Yeah. So Blues and Stars this evening. I really can't wait to watch. I don't know why. I don't really know why I'm so enthused about watching it. I was watching last night and watching 2 nights ago, and I'm going, I really can't wait to watch the Blues play. And then maybe it'll be awful, and I'll go, oh boy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For some reason, I'm going in, not necessarily going, Stanley Cup, but I guess kind of feeling like a free roll. Like if they're good, you're not necessarily expecting them to be great. So just be like, this is nice. Or maybe you start seeing some pieces of the foundation for the future.
Sure. I think both of those could be the case. I think similar tenor, obviously a little different because it's their first season, but similar to City where you're everything's gravy, wins are great, but you're not expecting much. And that's kind of like a freeing feeling. You're kind of free. You're without expectation because teams going in with expectation, things go wrong. See the Cardinals in 2023.
Yeah.
Then it's disappointment and almost like heartache. Whereas opposed to this, it's like, if they lost, kind of expected. If they win, hey, look at us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Blues and Stars tonight here on 101 ESPN. And Jackson will do his full game breakdown tomorrow right here at 10 o'clock. And I'll just sit and listen, honestly.
Right. It's going to take a lot of restraint for me not to just go IG live right after the third period.
And start screaming.
Right, yeah. Kevin Hayes, holding him accountable.
Yeah, you've had him in your crosshairs ever since he came over from the
Flyers.
Oh, my God.
He was on the Rangers first, though, right? He was Rangers, Flyers, and now Blues.
I mean, I wonder now if the Blues and Baileys are getting together in between their bankruptcy hearings and saying maybe we just bring Jackson up as kind of like the third guy in the booth. You know, like an Aikman Collins sort of thing.
Right. So going to the game Saturday, Kevin Hayes was number 12.
Oh, my God. I mean, what's going on here?
But I just don't think it's a great hockey number. I'm really into the 80s for hockey numbers. Like, I think anything in the 80s looks really good with those big numbers on the back of hockey jerseys. I really
Do you like Bedard's number?
98? Yeah.
Oh, my God!
Yeah, 98. Now, that's obviously he's younger than 1998. I wonder if that's kind of like a nod to Wayne Gretzky. Obviously, you'd never wear 99, but 98, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know significance behind that, but I do. That's a good number, too.
I'm starting to wonder if you're the next Doc Emmerich.
Peter Puck, yeah. I could school people in the game. Still just a tad confused on the whole icing thing, but we'll get there.
Boy, so much equity, and then just you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to torch all the equity I built up. Well, just right there at the end.
I think transparency builds equity as well.
It does.
Yeah.
But the man who was so transparent at this time on our station yesterday also has the equity of winning a chalice, whereas you thought during that same year Patrick Waugh was the netminder for the team the Blues beat. Hence your lack of equity. Right.
Well, you just got to be honest with the listeners.
I'm sure some of the people listening thought Patrick Waugh was in net for the Bruins.
Yeah. I don't know what number he wore.
Jackson will miss the Blues game because of you watching Erica Swings and Brianna Coppage on OnlyFans. That's from Marsha's burner.
No. Appreciate them coming on the airwaves.
Yeah, both friends of the show now.
Right, yeah. So, God bless them. But no, I won't be watching that.
Who is this asshat and what did you do with Piddles? That's from the 636. The people are starting to see you committed to the NHL this year. You committed to the St. Louis Blues this year, and now you're just kind of spitting knowledge.
Yeah. I wish Kevin Hayes I don't like 12 for a hockey number.
Or icing.
Yeah, I don't actually like 12 in any sport. I don't think it's a good number.
What about Tony Bank?
Tony Bank, yeah. Obviously, Tom Brady wore it, Aaron Rodgers wore it, but
right. But other than those,
yeah, I don't think 12 is a great. Kirk Heinrich, Captain Canada, he wore it with the Bulls,
of course. Rock chalk.
Ugh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You brought him up, bro.
You're right.
Brought him up. Hey, brief aside, because I know this will activate you while you're clearly on a dopamine rush of hockey knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to give a controversial take on uniforms.
Oh, now we're talking.
I really liked what the Twins were wearing last night.
God bless you. I was saying that to my dad yesterday.
I love that uniform.
The Twin Cities with the flags that say M.
With kind of a, what color is the background?
It's like a cream.
Yeah.
It's like a cream and off-white. Yeah, I think their home uniforms
classic.
Are great. Yeah.
It's just classic.
And Twin Cities in the script.
I would think you would like it because it's kind of an old money look. It's like, hey, we're simple, but we're wealthy. Yeah, sorry, we sign your paychecks. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, that's what that uniform tells me.
I think the whole Twins rebrand, starting, I guess, in the mid-2010s when they moved to Target Field,
they
tore down the dome.
The dome that blew the air out when they were up at bat and then blew the air in when the Cardinals in 87 were up and the Braves in 91 were up. Got
rid of the pinstripes, which did hold a special place in my heart because of a little big league. But having said that, like the new uniforms look great. They kept the great TC hat. It's a world-class hat. And then that uniform with the Twin Cities and the scripts across the chest.
It's a sharp look.
World-class.
But I would think that some people wouldn't like it because they like the teal and they like the busy uniforms. Yeah, the Diamondbacks will wear. But I like something simple, classic.
Agreed. And
give me Penn State's uniforms. Is it simple? Sure. But I'm a simple man. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Right. I'm going to stay away from that topic. But yeah, I think that the simpler the better. I love Penn State's uniforms. And the Twins, it's the perfect cream. Like I think the Giants overdo it where it kind of looks like dirty. But the Twins do it perfectly. So do the Cardinals for the Saturday uniforms.
Adam freaking Oates wore number 12.
Got it. It doesn't matter who wore it. It's aesthetically unpleasing to my eyeballs.
But I mean, Adam Oates and Brett Hall.
Right. I'm not getting rid of like the legacy behind the number. I'm just saying,
you're trying to erase Adam Oates from Blues history.
I'm really not.
Why are you trying to cancel Adam Oates? And will you tweet that out?
Nobody should have an opinion about what I feel is aesthetically pleasing. They're my eyeballs. So you're not me.
Will you apologize to Adam Oates on the Blues station?
No.
Twitter? X?
No.
MySpace?
That never really goes well. That's a place that's a bastion of truth.
Guys, I think the Twins are still the only team to win 2 World Series without winning a single road game. That's from the 314. I do not know that, but I would agree with the texter that this person texting in is correct.
Yeah, that sounds right.
They lost games 3, 4, and 5 in St. Louis. They lost games 3, 4, and 5 in Atlanta.
Yeah,
and they have a building that was a farce. Speaking of which, the Rangers will host the Astros. Now, that building, that warehouse they built is a tribute to the Dome in downtown St. Louis with the same lighting.
Right.
I understand it's like nice outside of what it looks like when you're watching the game, but the lighting in there reminds me of the Dome, and it's like, oh, it's 3 or 4 years old. What an aesthetically displeasing building. But there's your LCS, Jackson.
Yeah.
The Astros vanquished the Rangers last night. Vanquished the Twins last night in their lovely uniforms. They'll play the Rangers now. Those two teams, they don't like each other. They scrapped this year. They did battle in the American League West. Justin Verlander got to handle the post-game toast. Here is what he had to say. We bleeped out all these Fs because you know what I always say? How will I explain that to my kids?
Right.
Here it is.
Let me see. Who's going to do the celebration? Who want to do the celebration? Me. Yeah. No. I'm doing the World Series. You do this. Yeah. All right. Come on, man. All right.
Boys, this is one of those seasons, nothing went our way early. We battled through injuries.
Yeah.
We grinded. I wasn't even here. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
The seventh time. All right. Don't take that for granted. On 7. Everybody pop these. 1, 2, 3.
I got to tell you, and I don't know why, and I don't know how those of you in the listening audience feel about it. I didn't realize that they had been to 7 straight LCSs.
Crazy, right? That's insane.
Now, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess they probably have, but I just don't think about it. Whereas the team that they are chasing for the number of straight, the 90s Braves, strike me as this absolute dynasty in the National League. Like when they came to town during the regular season, you're like, oh, God. Who's it going to be? Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine.
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3.
Denny Nagel was pretty good at a time before he went to Colorado. But I don't view the Astros the same way. I'm sure part of that is because of the cheating scandal.
Right. Yeah, wrapped up in that stuff.
But I don't view them in the same way as I think those who were around then would view the 90s Braves. But maybe I'm off the mark. But either way, there it is. 7 straight LCSs.
Yeah, I think...
You can't say the Braves were much more successful because the Braves only got 1 World Series in that whole run. If anything, I think they feel like they left some putts out there, so to speak, huh?
Right. I think maybe give it 10 years, and then you'll see kind of that. Because, anytime the nostalgia factor is all.
Yeah, but the cheating thing, I think, will always hang over that.
Oh, I mean, and rightfully or unrightfully so, yeah, but that's always
you're saying that it shouldn't hang over it.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, you said rightfully and rightfully. I'm just asking. I can read back what you said.
Well, depending on what people feel on it, but...
You think some people were supportive of it?
I'd like to talk to the fan base in Houston and their thoughts on it. But yeah, I mean, rightfully so. They're going to be wrapped up in that forever. Having said that, there's been controversy across baseball for years, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Who else has tainted championships? Talked about the Minnesota Twins and their air conditioning.
Right. That is started the Royals in '85.
The Patriots.
Yeah, I forgot across sports. Yeah,
I mean, the Royals thing sucked, but that's like the Royals did it. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Well, but that's kind of the problem with a controversy like that is that sometimes it's not your fault, but you get wrapped up into it. Kind of like the Patriots. I'm not talking about like the Spygate thing, but like Tuck rule and stuff like that. They didn't make the refs call one way or the other. There's things like that go on all the time.
All right, fair enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson is, from my standpoint, at the very least, getting most improved year over year. As we are on the doorstep of the 2023-2024 season, Jackson is conveying hockey knowledge that, at this point, I almost feel like class is in session from 10 to 11.
Yeah, I would feel the same way if I was the listeners.
So what a treat that you have committed to the NHL and the St. Louis Blues this year. And I think all of your critics will be sending in texts apologizing and tipping their cap to you for the work you have done.
But that's not what I do it for.
What do you do it for?
I do it for my own self-belief, because you put something in front of me and say, can you do this? The answer is always yes.
God, that's inspiring.
The answer is always yes. Can I do it? Yes. I believe in myself. Will I do it? That's the question. And I think I will.
What a tease. What a wonderful tease. It sets the stage for the final 40 minutes of this program because it's already 10:19. It is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Welcome back. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Action Jackson with you. The program is presented to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Man, I can't say enough good things about them. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganess.
I was texting Clayton today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why you got to drop a humble brag on the show?
That's like my thing.
It's tiring. Anyway, we are on the Air Alliance team cameras on YouTube. How's the YouTube chat going? Tiny Peepee in there?
I've been so locked into hockey
Pop
that I haven't
314 is in there.
Pop 314. What up, Pop?
What's Tim and Jackson's handle on Tiger Board? That's from Jeff. Do you say Kloss or Close?
I'll say Kloss. I don't post on Tiger Board. You might be surprised.
I have about 8 accounts. Yeah, there is some Missouri news. I wasn't going to lead with this, but since Jeff asked, it makes me think of the Missouri News. I was texting with the Colonel, Gabe DeArmond, who is with us every Friday on Balloon Party, presented by the great James Carlton of Carlton Insurance in Webster Groves, online at carltoninsurance.net. And I said, how would you represent this news as a Power Mizzou subscriber that I was reading last night, which is significant? 5-star recruit, Ryan Wingo of St. Louis U High, one of the Rivals riders, has now got him as going to Missouri. Now, of course, Ryan Wingo has not announced. He's always said he's going to announce on December 20th. Yep. But he made that announcement. So Gabe said, I'm not sure it's breaking news, but what I reported is that indications are Missouri has serious momentum. Wingo was at the LSU game this past Saturday. And then our Midwest analyst for Rivals, Clint Cosgrove, put in a prediction for Mizzou to land him. So that got people buzzing. And then Gabe said, I actually think the bigger news is McClellan, to be honest. And that's not necessarily to be clear that he's saying McClellan's a better player than Wingo. That's not what he's saying. What Gabe's reporting is, whereas logically, I think some people on the outside looking in, and you don't have to be a Missouri fan to think this way, is you go, okay, well, if Wingo's going there and I want to try to get myself to the NFL, then maybe it wouldn't make sense for me to also go there as a wide receiver. They're both wide receivers. But as it turns out, according to Gabe's reporting, McClellan, who's at CBC, and Wingo are close, and they want to play together. And so if Wingo goes to Missouri, Gabe's reporting is, then it increases the chances substantially that McClellan decommits from Ohio State and joins Wingo at Missouri. Whereas if Wingo decides to go to Texas, for example, where he was initially reported to be going in September by Rivals, then it's likely that McClellan either stays at Ohio State or he's also talked with Oregon. Mm-hmm. And so then he doesn't come to Missouri. So in a weird way, Wingo going to take touches in Columbia as wide receiver helps bring a guy who would compete with him for touches in McClellan. And so you're talking about a 4- and a 5-star coming to Columbia. And by the way, you go, well, will Luther Burden be around? And I know it's tough to keep track of the college rules because they are always changing, not necessarily evolving, but always changing. And Burden can't go to the NFL until after his junior year. So Wingo and McClellan are both seniors, and that means you could have a wide receiving core of Luther Burden, Ryan Wingo, and McClellan all on the Missouri roster next year. With
Mookie Cooper and Mekhi Miller also waiting in the wings. Yeah, and I mean, we've seen, and this is obviously an extreme example, but we've seen 2 top-tier wide receivers work really well in tandem, and so much so that they got drafted, and I believe both in the top 10 with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. So just because you have 2 great receivers on one team, plenty of touches go around, Tim.
And if you that's nice. And if you think through it, and I think this has made an impact on Missouri's offense this year, if you have to tend to, and you have to worry about, take your pick of whomever, I think you can make a case right now with what's going on in Miami with Hill and Waddle. Mm-hmm. Certainly what we saw in St. Louis with Bruce and Holt, and then that had a trickle-down effect on Oz Hakeem. Yep. Ricky Prohl. I know you still have a Drew Bennett jersey, even though they didn't overlap. You still like to think about that era and how fun it was.
Don't we all?
Oh, fun. That then that means the best corner might have to tend to take your pick of whomever, and then that frees you up to play against somebody who might not have the skill to cover you. So, yeah, you cite Chase and Jefferson with LSU in that Burrow era, but Rams fans who are old enough can remember Holt and Bruce and what they did to defenses, along with teams, of course, having to worry about number 28 in the backfield, and to a lesser extent, first-round pick trunk candidate. So that is your Missouri news. You tell me on the timing thing, because you know I got all this baseball sound. Yeah. You tell me. I mean, you're the captain. I got the A on my sweater. You got the C on your sweater.
I think it's best if we break now and then go into baseball. Go into baseball in the next segment.
All right, fair enough. We got all kinds of sound. Like sound, I was sending you at 6 in the morning saying, hey, pull this, pull this. Yeah. We got Bryce Harper. We got Orlando Arcia, because he apparently tilted Bryce Harper following Game 2 of the LDS. We got Clayton Kershaw. He's not happy with the playoff format. Jeff Passan's kind of giving his opinion on the playoff format. The Dodgers are dead. The Twins are dead. The Braves are on their deathbed. 3 teams with 100 wins this year in Major League Baseball. They all could be gone before getting to the ALCS or NLCS, as the case might be. We will talk about that coming up on the other side of the break, because Jackson's making me break. But maybe it's the responsible thing to do.
Listen, you know what? sometimes with the C on your sweater, you got to make the tough decisions.
That's exactly right. And that's what you just did. There he is. That's our captain, Jackson Burkett. I'm Tim McKernan. This is Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and on YouTube.
If you're sick of having slow internet that doesn't reach every nook and cranny of your house, then I'm here to introduce you to Whisper. Whisper is the rural internet provider for you. They have no hidden fees, no contracts, and high speeds, all for a low cost. Plus, they have first-class customer service that'll help you set up and answer any questions along the way. I got a customer review here from someone who works at Whisper. We have Whisper at our home, and the service is tremendous. We have very fast speeds and have cut the cords and stream 100% of our content via Whisper. Our daughter is a gamer and uses her Xbox as we stream 2 TVs of content at the same time with no buffering. We rarely have to call customer service, but when we do, they are quick to respond. I appreciate having someone available on the weekends to take tech calls. It's a great company, and I would highly recommend them. So you go to whisperisp.com right now to learn more and get free installation. That's Whisper, without an H, isp.com. This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues open up their season tonight against the Dallas Stars in Dallas. Of course, you can catch that game right here at the home of the Blues, 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6 p.m., puck drop at 7. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. You kidding me?
Welcome back. This is Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. The program is presented to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. My name is Tim McKernan. That is Action Jackson. Watch us via the Air Alliance team cameras on YouTube. It is the 101 ESPN channel on YouTube. Very active chat in the YouTube. Jackson, you been in there?
I haven't. I've been, just getting ready for this hockey game.
Tiny Peepee's in there. Johnny V's in there.
Those are some heavy hitters.
Jeff Rowe V.
Jeff Rowe.
Clayton Davis.
CD.
Two Rats Gaming? Is that what it is? Is it Two Rats Gaming or Gaming?
I'm going to go with gaming.
Okay, because there's two M's in there and confused me. I deep teased this baseball playoff discussion. You tell me which game you want to start with, and I'll give you my opinions.
Let's go with the big headline grabber. That would be the Phillies and the Braves.
Can I do a brief aside here?
Oh, always.
Okay. So Scott Van Pelt lost his voice, which is why Joe and Michelle Buck hosted pregame on Monday Night Football from the Death Star in Las Vegas for the Packers and Raiders on Monday night. I like to watch SVP when I wake up in the morning before coming in here to entertain millions on HD2.
Right.
And I see he's not on, so now I got to watch these, not Scott Van Pelt's host Sports Center.
Right.
If you were producing, and you're a great producer, as everybody who listens to this show knows, if you were producing Sports Center last night, and you had 3 stories in what the kids call an A block at the University of Missouri Journalism School, which means your first block before going to a commercial, what would those 3 stories be, and what would their order be? And go.
Bryce Harper and staring down Orlando Arcia.
Okay.
I would go with the Diamondbacks vanquishing the Dodgers.
100-win Dodgers, gone.
And then third, I would go with Bedard's second game.
Interesting.
Kind of mix it up a little.
Here is what they actually went with. It was one of the Dodgers Diamondbacks first, and Twins Astros second. One of the might have been first or second. I don't remember. And this is gonna hit close to home for you. And I'm anxious to watch you defend it. You know what they went with third?
NBA preseason. No. Oh, WNBA finals, baby. Asia Wilson. Brianna Stewart.
Now, deep down, do you mean this crap you're saying?
I mean, I know
or are you pretending to be Dan Orlovsky right now?
I know that I enjoy it, but I understand that the masses might not be as passionate of a basketball fan as me. And when you have the major...
You put Bryce Harper staring down Orlando Arcia at a packed ballpark in Philadelphia in the second block so you could put the WNBA Finals in the first block. You're going to look me in the eye and defend that?
I mean, I'm not, but I can tell you that, my interest is there, but I don't speak for the masses.
You just told me Bryce Harper should be the lead, and now you're telling me, no, I get it. I like that Asia Wilson in the A block.
Oh, I'm not saying I get it necessarily. I get that they have a big contract with the NBA and WNBA.
That's what I was wondering. Is this documented anywhere? Because I'm dead serious.
Well,
now, honestly, I don't really care. Like, I get Twitter likes by giving this opinion.
You certainly can.
But, just not where I'm looking to go with my career. But I was watching that, and I'm going, did I miss it? I'm up early. I've already had a couple cups of coffee.
Sure.
I have the serenity at this moment of the children are asleep, my wife's asleep, and I'm going, did they lead with Harper and the Phillies? No, because then they come back from a break, and that's when they go with the Phillies and the Braves in the second block. And then I go, but that means that they put the WNBA Finals before. Is this documented? Like, does the NBA say, hey, you can be our rights holder, but here's the deal?
I don't know.
We got a little package deal. I
would assume, and this is purely speculative, I don't think anything's been documented, but the NBA has a lot of deals with the NBA. The NBA
the NBA has a lot of deals with the NBA.
The NBA has a lot of deals with ESPN, I should say, and the NBA owns the WNBA, and so yeah, I would understand that they have a lot of
here in the fine print of the agreement is you must run the WNBA finals in the first block. For real. I could see that being there because otherwise there's just no way. And by the way, I really don't care. And I'm not like, hold on a second. This is invading my space as a man.
Right. I
don't give a damn.
Shoving it down our throats.
Absolutely. I could go out and do some tweeting right now and get some likes. I need some likes to validate me. But I'm going, this is obviously a business deal that is so dumb. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that there is a lot of, because the NBA is probably the ESPN's biggest moneymaker, and so, yeah.
What a strange little arrangement.
Yeah, shout out AJ Wilson, though.
Thank you. I digress. What do we have here from the Phillies and the Braves? Bryce Harper went yard twice. Orlando Arcia, who does not really speak English, was quoted by someone, and it got back to Harper and Nick Castellanos of the Phillies, that after Harper was doubled off of first base to end Game 2 in Atlanta, Orlando Arcia, of all people, was quoted as saying, "Attaboy Harper." That pissed off Bryce Harper, and so when he went yard 2 different times as he rounded first base and headed to second base, and then rounded second base and headed to third, he stared at Arcia the entire time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
What do we have for the people to hear, Jackson?
Here's what Harper had to say after the game about staring down Arcia.
I mean, anytime anybody says something, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Did you enjoy staring him down?
Yeah, I mean, I stared right at him.
There's that.
Yeah.
And then we also have Arcia's comments about his original comments getting back to Harper.
Okay.
Did you intend for it to get back to Harper when you saw it?
No está supuesto escucharlo, por eso lo estamos celebrando en el clubhouse.
He wasn't supposed to hear. That's why we were celebrating. That was why we were talking in the clubhouse.
Nice. Yeah, and I agree with him. It was a private conversation, but a reporter overheard it, and then it became bulletin board material for the Phillies. So that was why Bryce Harper was staring him down as he rounded second after each one of his 2 home runs last night. Castellanos also had one, and the Phillies absolutely beat the living hell out of the Braves. And so now, Jackson, how many 100-win teams do we have in baseball this year?
3.
The Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Gone. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Lance Lynn giving up 4 home runs in the first inning.
Tough.
Gone. And now the Atlanta Braves with 104 wins. They finished 14 games ahead of the Phillies in the all-important division races. They now are on their deathbed and will have to stave off elimination in front of a raucous Citizens Bank tonight.
Yeah, and an all-time offense in terms of their regular season this year. It's up there with any of you talk about Murderers or Yankees, any of those big-name teams you can think of. Braves are right up there with them.
They were approaching 1,000 runs on the season.
It's crazy.
They scored 947 runs. For the record. And so after the Dodgers were vanquished last night by the Diamondbacks, and the Dodgers won 100 games and finished 16 games up on the Diamondbacks in this money grab postseason that they're calling an evolution for baseball's playoffs, they were asked what they thought about the playoffs and it being a disadvantage for the better teams with having to wait 5 days to play. Mookie Betts, who did not have a hit the entire series, said he didn't think it was the right time to talk about that. Clayton Kershaw did give his opinion. Here is what he had to say.
Look, it's hard. I mean, pitching maybe not so much, but obviously offensively, these guys are so used to playing every day. So I get it, extra teams and, more money, all that stuff. I get it. But I do think that, I'm not a hitter, but it does seem like it's a bit of a challenge for guys. It's not an excuse, though. At the end of the day, we had a good opportunity, and, we should have won 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5.
There it is, Clayton Kershaw. More and more attention. This was something that I just kind of thought was my pet peeve, and now it's getting more and more attention, albeit results-oriented. But you could have a Phillies and Diamondbacks and LCS, and an Astros and Rangers LCS, and an ALCS, which is already locked in, and the teams with the best records are all gone. And that is why I keep harping on this. If you want to tell people the regular season matters, you're seeing what winds up happening.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. And I don't know what realistically they can do about it, but it's diminishing the value of the regular season.
Yeah, it's kind of like once you take that step forward in playoff expansion, you can't go back, because now you're really taking away money. You could say that before they were taking away money by not having it. Well, once you do it, there's no going back. And in actuality, it's more likely it gets more expansion than it does, shrinking. So they can't really go back. I guess they can add things. You talked about yesterday with the one game advantage for teams who finish from first. But at the end of the day, this is just kind of the reality. I guess you can make the series longer, but then if you're going to make the series longer, now you're going deeper and deeper into the colder months.
What the concern is, and you heard Kershaw talk about it a little bit, it's not really an issue for the pitchers. Well, why? Because the pitchers wait 5 days or 4 days in between starts anyway. It's the hitters. And so last year, the NLCS was 5 versus 6 with the Padres and Phillies. And this year, if the Phillies beat the Braves, you would have the 4 versus 5 in the NLCS.
Yeah, and I get what Kershaw's saying, and again, results-oriented, but it seems like there's been a good amount of offense in the playoffs. I mean, you saw last night, the Phillies scored, 10 runs, and Diamondbacks hit 4 solos in the same inning. I hear what he's saying on that, and it does make sense. But
what he's saying is for the teams that have the days off. The Phillies weren't one of the teams with the days off.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
The Orioles were one of the teams with the days off. The Orioles didn't hit at all in their series. So it's one of those things that people, when they hear it, especially right after a team got beat, they go, they're whining. But they're asked about it. I mean, those guys were asked about it. I saw Betts go, no comment. I don't want to get into it because he knows it's going to come off an excuse, and he didn't get a hit.
Right, yeah, it's tougher, yeah.
So it will come off as an excuse. But you're starting to get to a point where you're going, okay, is there really something to this? And then what do you do if you're baseball? Or do you just go, well, we have Jeff Passan. We have Passan, right? Here's what Passan said.
I'm not going to sit here and suggest it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's just different things. I think the team that wins the World Series is not necessarily the best team in baseball. I think the best team in baseball is the team that plays best over 162 games. But it also shows to me the beauty of baseball that you can be the best team, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a tournament.
Yeah, I'm a big baseball guy, and I know Passan is too. I've known him for a while. I kind of feel like that's something when you do, like if you're in a political party, you're like, oh God, the guy at the head of the political party just did something, but we got to spin it. That's spin. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Right.
It's just you have teams take your pick of. It's not about the market size. Not about the market size at all. You have teams that won 84 games in the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I know the Cardinals won a World Series when they won, 83 games in 2006. And they've been in a World Series. So then you sit there and go, what the hell's the point of these regular season division titles? There's zero reward. And then you can actually say what was supposed to be a reward, the days off, is turning out to be somehow a penalty.
Right. Yeah, and we often say, well, you can't judge a hitter on a 2 or 3 game stretch, but that's all we judge teams off of when it comes to the playoffs. And so it's, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth in a certain extent.
And the reason I keep talking about it, and I was talking about it before now, I guess it's become a national talking point, which really just shows how many people listen to this show. But I talk about it as a baseball fan, and I'm going, this sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks that you can have an incredible regular season, but then it becomes NCAA tournament time. And listen, when the NCAA tournament's going on, it's wonderful. But it devalues the regular season, and that's not the way that baseball had been. But it's now the way the game is, and it's even worse now. But baseball, I'm sure, would point to the attendance going up because you had teams that were in the race all the way through the end of the year. Very few teams were out of it going into September. St. Louis was one of them, but very few were. And then you get in, and hell, if you're one of the wild card teams, you might feel even better about your chances of winning the World Series and going, oh, crap, we won the division and we have a bye.
Right. Yeah, because there's more days off. Yeah.
Because the Astros, I believe, were the only team with a bye that went to the LCS last year, if I'm not mistaken. And they would be the only team that had a bye this year if the Phillies win one of the next 2 games against the Braves to go to the LCS.
It's crazy.
So that's, That's a problem. And this isn't new. I mean, this is, as I said before, the Detroit Tigers in 2006 were like, yeah, it was a bad thing that we had to sit out a week in between the end of the ALCS and playing the Cardinals in Game 1 in Detroit. Your thoughts are welcome, 314-399-9646. Tim McKernan, Action Jackson with you. The program is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN and on YouTube. Welcome back, Balloon Party 101 ESPN and on YouTube. Very active conversation in the YouTube chat. Come on in. It's the 101 ESPN channel presented to you by the Air Alliance team, the sponsor of our studio cameras here. Miss anything? Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's podcast. It's Balloon Party taking you to the top of the hour before BK and Ferrario take over, and then 7 hours. Blues pregame at Dallas to open up the season. What a test it will be.
Can't wait.
I'm starting to believe you.
Can't wait. Looking
I don't know what to make of this.
Getting the season underway.
Do you think you could fall in love with the game of hockey?
I would be surprised.
Okay.
I would just generally be surprised, but can't rule it out. I've watched playoff hockey plenty and really do enjoy it. Regular season, I'll get there though. I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there.
Have you still canceled and not resubscribed to NBA's League Pass?
As of right now, yeah. That will kind of depend on the playing time that Kobe Brown and Demoy Hodge get for their respective Los Angeles franchises. Because more so, if Kobe starts getting some serious minutes, I'm really going to have to watch the Clippers a lot.
Are you going to flip over to the Chiefs and Broncos tonight?
Oh, man.
Taylor Swift, per the New York Post, will be at Arrowhead.
Yeah, and she's got her movie coming out this week.
So you knew that she was going to do that.
It's a good marketing play. I'm not going to lie, but she doesn't really need marketing plays. For a brief moment, I have Travis Kelce in a couple leagues. So
he's questionable tonight.
They say he's supposed to play though, so he carries that designation.
Whatever the New York Post reports, I believe.
That's a good rule of thumb. They are the North Star of journalism. So
I agree.
I think that, I do a lot to watch tonight. So, I'm looking forward to it.
You would think, okay, well, the Chiefs will probably stomp on them, but there's rain in the forecast on the west side of the state that is heading our way, and then the Hawk is expected to be up there. That, of course, can affect the passing game.
Do you know the number on that game, Tim? I shouldn't ask questions I don't already know the answer to.
Christopher Darden, Marcia Clark.
I'm beating myself up on that one. That's my fault.
It's the fourth commandment.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are minus 10.5. The total is 47.5.
It's a low total. It's a low total for one high-powered offense. 10.5 seems right. I remember before that Jets game, people were like, "Oh, the Chiefs only 3-point favorites, free money."
Wow, the percentage of money right now.
Heavy on the Broncos?
The Broncos, 67%, 33%.
I liked it. Money likes dogs. Money likes dogs. Thursday night, I've decided I'm done betting Thursday night games.
You're out.
It's too much variance. The short week, you don't know who's lingering injuries.
It had been a trend for it to be big offensive output. And then I get the sense that has slowed down a bit relative to the percentage of high-scoring games where defenses just didn't have a chance to catch up in those 4 days.
Yeah,
in between playing.
Yeah, last week was an outlier on the high-powered offense because both the Bears and Commanders don't really do that, and they decided to. But that could be a bad defense thing.
But wind can be really impactful to the passing game.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'll monitor that game. I guess maybe then Pacheco would be a good little sleeper if you're looking for some rushing props.
Jackson the tout.
Well, I think that's the chalk play. I mean, hearing that there's wind. And
why don't you differentiate from the field by going with Jerick McKernan?
It's a good play. The Chiefs are weird with their wide receiver
do you want to
score.
win or do you want to cash? It's up to you. Do you want to win or do you want to cash?
Both.
No.
I want cash.
No. Great. You know what? You go around once, brother. Why do you clock in so early? Why do you leave late? Why do you do those extra reps? Why do you do those extra sets? So you can win, not so you can cash. You want to sit in a cubicle the rest of your life and play with yourself? That's up to you. But you know what we're here to do? We're here to win. And that's why we're doing an hour of midday radio, because we're winning.
Cut that for a promo immediately. That's the one right there.
Tim, do the Blues preview again in your master's voice. Yes. Oh, when I interrupted the Doug Armstrong press conference yesterday.
Yeah, I like that.
They just told me to reset. You know what? They give orders, I follow them. I'm just a soldier. You know what I am? I'm a cute little boy soldier is what they call me.
And a good one at that.
Thank you so much. Well, Blues and Stars this evening. Pre-game at 6 p.m. High expectations in Dallas for, the Stars, the Cowboys, and now the LCS-bound Texas Rangers. Jackson, the Mavericks.
That team's deeper than you think. They think they see Kyrie and Luka, and they're like, that's all they have. Not true. They can hoop.
Blues and Stars tonight right here on 101 ESPN.
Is Tyler Sagan still on the Stars?
Excuse me?
Tyler Sagan, he's still on the Stars?
Why are we asking me questions that are right there in front of you?
You're right.
And especially when you just said to yourself, I did that Christopher Darden, Marsha Clark thing where I asked a question of the witness that I didn't know an answer to, and it blew up the case.
Yeah, you're right.
Parentheses, in some people's opinion.
I got to get better. I started out so hot.
I know, with like dropping Kevin Hayes' number knowledge on the people.
And real quick, Stars, terrible uniforms.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Like
we're on board with the Minnesota Twins home uniforms.
Big time, yeah. The Stars look like junior hockey uniforms.
Best college football uniform, go.
Penn State.
Wow.
I love it.
Worst college football uniform, go.
I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound like bad, but I really do like them. I just don't like what they're doing with them. I don't like what Notre Dame has been doing over the past 10 years, where they flip-flop wearing green and different shades of things.
Green like once every couple of years.
Yeah, but they've done some
Well,
weird
you had a lot
things.
of anti-Irish stuff lately, I've noticed. I'm going to keep an eye on you. I might use some of my burner accounts on Twitter to see if I can get you taken out.
Did you not hear my preface beforehand?
No, but you did a little bit on the potato famine. We got to go. BK and Ferrario are up next. For Action Jackson, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and on YouTube.
The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is now in Illinois. That's right. The Circus Sports app is available right now in Illinois. So if you live here in St. Louis, just drive across the river. Or if you already live in Illinois, sign up for the Circus Sports app. The Circus Sports app is sports betting the way it should be. Big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service. And of course, the best news of all is that the Circus Sports app is available in Illinois. They don't limit players based on their winnings. It's not what they do. They let people gamble. And what they also do is they encourage you to shop the lines. Look around, take a look at some of the other lines across some other sports books in Illinois, and then you take a look at Circus, and I'm pretty confident you're going to like Circus more with those tight money line splits, that -110 that Circus strives for every time. Visit circusports.com for more details and get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.